Today is the day I will test Claude inside Excel and PowerPoint, and it's quite a pain to get it to work because you have to know a few things here. First, you have to be on a Microsoft 365 business plan, and if you're in a company, they have to allow you to use it, obviously. Then you go to add-ins and you can install this, and then you get presented with this screen that I'm here now. And then I have to log in, which opens a new browser. And here we are. This is Claude. We can delete this thing, and now we have an empty Excel sheet here, and now let's see what we can do. First of all, I want to get some mock data. I was a validation expert in big corporate, and I was handling thousands of Excel sheets, you cannot believe. And what a life changer this would have been, having support by Claude back then. The insights I would have been able to gather, that was working hours on, and let's see what we can do here. Please fill this Excel sheet with mock-up process data of a production filling line in big pharma. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's see. I'm just testing it for the first time too here, so I'm curious what will happen. While this is running, let's set up also PowerPoint. And here again, I need to sign in, authorize, and here we are in PowerPoint. So let's see what it can do. It also has the connectors. So this means I can access my external tools and it can use it as context to create these slide decks. But I also can add files. Okay, now we have some data. Let's save this data. And now let's use the same data to create a presentation out of it. Can you create a presentation with insights of this Excel sheet? I'm curious if it recognizes patterns or insights about different products, and that we have here, you know, outliers and so on, and here under an investigation, rejected under investigation. So I would expect now that this would be represented in this PowerPoint. Meanwhile, let's work on the Excel sheet, something simple. That's great. Here it's also asking me now questions. So I wanted to do a pivot table. Well, even with the wrong spelling, it got it right. What would you like to summarize here? So production by product, performance by filling line, batch status summary, environmental monitoring. Well, we can actually select more. Let's select all and let's see what it's doing. Let's see what the PowerPoint is doing so far. Okay, here we have something. Proposed presentation, 7 slides. Key metrics, 30 batches, average yield. Well, this is really interesting. Okay, let's go. And obviously you can use your own corporate templates for these slides, and it will create these slides then for you. And this is really what a time saver this is. Just extracting the data and creating these PowerPoints. And even if they're not perfect, also I'm pretty sure it will get very close. You have a starting point. And that's the key here. But I'm more and more shocked how good Claude is working. What a few months ago was a starting point is now just nailed it with the first prompt. In order to use this, your company needs to allow this, obviously. Here's just important to keep in mind. See, it's now dangerously always allow. So it just keeps working, not asking you for any updates. It will just keep working through it. If you are not sure, you can always go for ask before edits. If working on files and you have no clue what AI is doing, obviously I would always use a copy and always have backed up data. Never let it run on your real data. Okay, there we go. Here are the pivot tables, and here are the first slides coming in. They're not beautiful, but if it is all about just delivering what this is all about, I'm pretty sure this is more than enough. Here we go. It even creates now the diagram in a representable scale, so you really see differences, although they are minimal. I think it's pretty interesting to work inside Excel with Claude, because now you have a direct connection and you see what's happening. If you use Claude Cowork and you just let it work on your Excel sheet, you don't have this direct feedback without opening up the file, obviously. Look at this. Filling line performance. This is pretty amazing because it's all based on this one Excel sheet that we just created. Now imagine using your real data. But this is a typical scenario that I had in my corporate job, you know, present the key insights that you get from the process data to the executive team, to other departments, to quality assurance, discuss the things. And this would have been an absolutely game changer and time saver, especially when time matters in these big corporates. You know, something goes wrong, every minute counts because you losing hundreds of thousands of dollars just per minute there. So the faster you can act as an expert in this area, the better. And that's work about work and administrative work, the creation of the PowerPoint, the creation of the Excel sheet, you know, and make it fancy. These are all things that an expert can really save time and focus on the things that matter by using tools like Claude. I don't think we need to go in deeper. Let's make a presentation, see how this looks like. And here we are. Obviously some design flaws and so on, but I'm sure when you give it a template and you have your company branding and so on, this is more than enough. If it is internal discussions that you have to take and discuss the things, that's perfect. Here, the 3 things that got under investigation, rejected, that's exactly what we had in the Excel sheet. Here we have deviation events for quality assurance. This is amazing to figure that out and have these insights. But also if you have audits or if you need to represent something and give the right insights, this is essential. I was sitting in FDA audits explaining the process I was responsible for in the company. I would have certainly used, if allowed, obviously, the tool. But I have no doubt 2026, it will be the time where these tools come to the companies, because you cannot miss out on this. It's a time saver. It is saving so much money and mental energy, you know, that gets wasted in searching for information, gathering information, getting insights from something and creating these PowerPoint presentation. That is really something that consumes so much time, the preparation for the meeting and so on. And if you can cut this time, this compound, if you have back-to-back meetings, if you have a lot of insights that you need to make, this is really a game changer for sure. And I'm also sure it will become more accessible to use over time. And there are also alternatives. You can use Gamma or Canva and hook it up with Claude to create slide decks too. If you want to see a video about this, let me know in the comments below, and I'm happy to make a video about how to create slide decks with Claude in other alternatives too. If you want to dive deeper, we have a Claude for Professionals course inside the membership. So if you haven't checked it out, do it now, and I'll catch you up in there or in the next video.